episode 53 of the Relatable Runners podcast. Today's podcast is organizing your life. We're going to be talking about tips to help organize your life to make everything just a little bit simpler, because the more organized you are, we all know, the smoother life goes.
Yes, and I have found that if I organize one area of my life, even if I'm not attempting to organize any other area, just out of, I don't know, proximity, everything else gets better.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything is, what's that quote? Dave Hollis says it a lot. It's, if you throw a pebble into a pond, it's not going to make a huge difference in the pond, but the ripple effects of that one pebble going in changes everything. It changes the entire water surface.
Yeah.
So one little thing that you can do to make your life easier, it will affect all areas.
Yes, I agree. And I obviously am passionate about this topic.
Yes, I would say that Whitney, of all of us, is probably the most passionate about today's topic.
Yes, and we're going to talk about how organizing your life, like Amber said, today's title, that will for us include, and for you guys too probably, organizing your daily life and also your workout routine and your fitness. And they kind of go hand in hand, especially if fitness and working out is a regular part of your life and your week.
We're assuming that it is, if you care to listen to us.
You're listening to this.
Yes.
And if it isn't, then you need to organize your life to fit it in.
Mm-hmm.
Because it, like we said just 1 second ago, it affects all other areas of your life.
Yep.
And also stay tuned to the very end. Nikki, have a very special tip that will change your world. I'm going to say that to the very last, though.
Okay.
I'll give you one hint. Are you ready for the hint?
We're ready.
It is a state name.
Hmm.
Yep. So stay tuned.
Mississippi.
It's not Mississippi.
Okay.
It is not
Just
Mississippi.
threw something out there.
Okay, so we will start with our first tip. Nikki, you want to jump into this one? I know that this is kind of your jam.
It is my jam.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's funny? Like, when I was younger and in college and high school, I used to write down my outfits, what I would wear every single day. I would never wear the same outfit ever to school. Like, I could wear the same pants, but I would wear a different shirt. Like, I would never wear the exact same outfit.
Wow.
Yeah, it was...
I did not know this about you.
Did you not know this?
No.
I've changed a lot.
I have 3 kids and stuff.
No
Probably
pun intended.
gets into-
Changed
a lot. That's funny. Yes, no, having 3 kids definitely made me have to relax and put my plans to the wayside.
Being an adult, you just kind of...
Right.
Yeah.
Like, now I have 3 outfits and
I was
wear
going to
them daily.
say, now you pride yourself on wearing the same thing over and over.
I didn't have to wash this. I wore this yesterday. I'm going to wear it tomorrow.
So true.
But, so that being said,
I still do enjoy a in-hand planner that I plan things out in, which I've always enjoyed writing things down. I think there's something way different
we
about
both had planners.
writing it down, like physically writing it down rather than like a little memo in your phone or something. Just something about the written word.
I think there's studies, and I definitely feel this way as well, that you learn better when you write things down, because you're seeing them, you're writing them, and so you're kind of getting it like a double whammy. So writing things down and writing out your plan for the week obviously is helpful because
you're like
it's
painting a
kind of
mental
soaking
picture
in.
too.
Yeah.
Right. And this is a side note. We'll go right back to what I was about to say here. But I know, like, if I read a book that maybe I shouldn't read, that it like has a graphic scene or something, if I read that versus if I watched it in a movie, reading it sticks in my mind. It like grosses me out. Does that make sense at all?
Mm-hmm.
There's something about like reading words and writing the words that like
you obtain the information
you obtain
better.
it a lot more. Like if I saw a scene on a TV, I wouldn't think twice about it. But if I read a book, I'm like, oh gosh,
Like soaks in.
It
more.
soaks in a little bit more. So
which, if you want that to happen and
Right.
be intentional, then that's a good thing.
Correct.
I think it's the moral of the story is
Moral of the
your
story.
mind is a lot naughtier than what anybody else can come up with on the TV.
Oh Lord, plug your kids' ears. So anyways, back to what I was saying. So have a weekly plan. So on Sundays, I get it together. Whitney works with us, and so I send Whitney our schedule, the Hensley family schedule, and I even write down what we're having for dinner in this schedule. We very rarely stick to it, but I'd say
But
we're
then
probably
you're
like
what are we supposed to have for dinner for night? I'm like,
you're
chicken,
having-
asparagus. I'm
Right.
like your memory bank.
Correct. But I write down what everyone's doing, where everyone's going for the week, and just kind of a broad overview. I have found that having that out and planned for the entire week and telling other people about it helps hold me accountable, the family accountable. Like there's no question. And if someone acts like they didn't know we were having chicken and asparagus, you knew. You read that email.
Yep.
You knew.
You knew.
You saw the whiteboard. It was on there.
You knew what was coming.
Asparagus is on the menu.
Which the same goes for planning out your fitness for the week.
Mm-hmm.
Am I going to go to Burn Monday, Wednesday, Friday? Am I going to go to Burn Monday, Thursday? And I'm going to run the other days? When you have a plan, it's so much easier to just get up and do what you've planned to do that week instead of thinking about, I don't know, it's kind of rainy. I don't really feel like doing it.
Like this is on the plan for today, and
Yes.
this is what's going to be done. And I have found we will even like hold each other accountable. Okay, Amber, I need to, like we did this last week. You said, I need to go to Burn twice this week. Please hold me accountable.
Side note, Burn is our workout, like our gym. I know if maybe I was just jumping in, I'd be like, these girls are burning a lot. What in the
What are they
world?
burning?
This is where we do strength training. Yes,
Yes,
We're
good
burning
point.
our bodies.
But she said she needed to go twice, and I was like, I need to get up twice in the morning and run. And so we checked in with each other and like, okay, you've done one so far. It's this day.
When are you going to get your other in?
Right. But having a plan, and I think that kind of goes back to, for us, in 2019, I always, like, that year was very impactful for me because we were doing so many races and stuff, and we were on a half marathon training plan so often, that's kind of ingrained in our head. Like, we've literally continued that schedule where we do a couple days strength, a midweek run, a long run, and just kind of knowing what you're doing, knowing what to expect. Not only does it ease like anxiety if you struggle with anxiety, and that's why, like they say, for kids it's so good to have a routine and things like that, because it eliminates the question of what's happening next or the fear of the unknown.
Yep.
And I guess I'm similar to a baby because I like to have I like to know what to expect. I like to know what's coming, and then there's no question about it. You're like, okay, yes, I'm doing strength training tonight. Tomorrow I'm running, and I will plan accordingly.
Right.
And also, I feel like if you have it written down and you didn't do it, you kind of have to answer to yourself. Like,
Yes.
there's something like
You cannot
I feel like,
check that off for
right.
a day.
And I feel like we live in a culture that doesn't want us to ever be disappointed. You are enough. Yeah, we are good. We're great. All that stuff. But no, like if we have to hold ourselves accountable, and it's okay to be disappointed in ourselves, because when we're disappointed in ourselves, that's when we decide we're going to do better.
Yes.
So I think it's okay to have disappointment with what you did, and then to do better from it.
But if you're holding yourself accountable, then that's how you're going to know.
Right.
If you never write anything down, if you never plan anything out, and you're just kind of skating through each day, if you don't hit the goals that you've set for yourself, or you don't get what you wanted to get done, who's ever going to know? Like, you're not even going to hold yourself accountable.
You won't even know because you never made the goal to begin with.
Right. And then if you look back in a year from now, you're probably going to be exactly where you are right now, because you've never actually taken the steps to be successful.
Right.
Exactly.
And going into the planning out everything weekly on Sunday, that just also leads into being able to plan out your month, and then therefore planning out your entire year. So say we have a goal of 1,000 miles or so, like Whitney did last year. You're never going to get that if you don't tick that down to, okay, so that means I have to have at least 100 miles a month then, or close to it. And then, okay, so that means I need to get close to 25 miles per week. And how am I going to accomplish that? If you have a big goal, you have to obviously tick it down to little smaller goals. And if you don't organize your weeks and months accordingly, then you'll never hit that yearly organizational goal.
Yes, very well
and then
said.
You'll be disappointed again.
Mm-hmm.
And then really you're just reliving the same disappointing year for forever.
Or you'll be cramming at the end of the year and...
Right. And
it's December and I have to run 1,000 miles.
I only ran 700. Okay, 300 miles this month.
And you'll do it because you are an upholder.
You
did it.
You did.
I did it.
That's kind of your December.
What was my...
It wasn't quite
like
that
130
intense.
miles.
It was a lot, but it wasn't quite 300.
It wasn't 300, but it was like, well, I've got to run 130 miles, so I guess that's what I'll do.
Guess I better get my shoes
So
on.
that meant Nikki and I ran approximately 120 because we were there for most of them. We're like,
well,
okay.
guys, we got goals to hit, and that burnout in August really put us behind. We're gonna have to get a few hundred in this month. But having a plan just helps, everything flow smoothly, helps you accomplish more daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. Therefore, you're meeting more goals. Therefore, you're growing more, and it's just, so impactful.
It helps eliminate decision fatigue.
Yes.
Now, I maybe have taken this to an extreme with my capsule closet. I only have a certain amount of outfits, and if I get something new, something's got to go. So I do not being able to make decisions, apparently. I don't know if I'd quite recommend that. It works for me, but it definitely doesn't work for everybody. But I only have,
maybe a midpoint from you and then like Amber's closet. So like my closet is probably a mix between. I've got a few options.
We should do an episode on that, our closets. Because I'm very, very, you have this amount of clothing, Amber's woo, and you're kind of, all right.
That's funny that we're talking about this because actually I have a wedding this weekend. I will have already had it, obviously, when this airs, but I'm in the rehearsal dinner, and so I was thinking, oh my gosh, I've already packed all my clothes and gone through everything. I literally have no clothes except for like some jeans and some comfy clothes that I've been wearing to work and work out. And I asked Nikki, do you have something I can wear to the rehearsal dinner? I just realized I don't have anything. She was like, I have 7 clothing items. And right now they're all sweatpants. I don't know why you're not asking out for a neighbor. Go to Amber. She's like, here's a FaceTime tour of my closet. Here's 13 items to try. Here's a wardrobe bag to take it in. Here's matching earrings and a purse. I'm like, oh, why did I not think of that?
You were about to make me have to be naked one day next week.
Give me that outfit off your back.
Well, yes.
Good thing I was there to...
Another episode for another day. We'll have to do that one day, though.
Anyway.
So, back to clothing, though. Laying out your clothes the night before.
Game changer.
Yes. Eliminates that decision fatigue at 5 o'clock in the morning when you are half asleep.
I would say that is probably one of the, if you make any change, if you need help being organized, you're trying to get in that direction, one thing that you can do immediately is lay out your clothes.
And it's so easy to do. It's not a big commitment. It's not something that's going to take hours. It literally takes 2 minutes.
Yeah. Check the weather, assess, kind of think about what you're doing that day.
Even if you have to set out like a short sleeve and a long sleeve option, but just have it sat out so you don't have to dig, you don't have to think about it, just have it ready.
Yeah, like every night we, BY and I set out our workout fits for the next day, our workout clothes for the next day, Landon's clothes for the next day, his jiu-jitsu outfit, make sure that that's easily grabbable because in the morning, if you start the day out in a frazzled rush, that's probably how the rest of your day is going to go. And then if that's the case, you're running around and you're like, oh no, I didn't squeeze my workout in, or I missed this because I wasn't prepared. If you're prepared, it's much more likely that you're going to accomplish the things that you need to do for the day, and you're not scrambling around trying to find something, or, oh, I can't find any workout clothes, I'll just run later, and then you don't.
Right.
So I would say laying out your clothes the night before is probably the most impactful small thing that you can do that makes such a big difference.
And if you don't do that workout in the morning, later on
you see
those clothes.
That happened to me this week.
It's a rude awakening. It's like,
is.
oh, that's still sitting there.
Yeah, that happened to me this week, and I'd laid my workout clothes out and had full intentions of working out in the morning, and then I didn't sleep good, and I could not wake up, and I just like, there's no way. And then that night they were still there, and I was like, ooh, and it's kind of that little sting, like, ooh, I let myself down. But doing that, holds you accountable, and it's like, all right, is a reminder.
Well, and like you said, with like laying out Landon's clothes, a lot of times once I do my clothes to work out the night before, then I'm like, oh yeah, I need to get the girls' clothes laid out for school, make sure their backpacks are ready. Like it has that ripple effect.
Yes.
To remind you for the rest of the family, all right, let's make sure everybody's ready for tomorrow.
Yes, exactly. And if you have kids, you understand this. If not, like, we can't express how intense, like,
mornings
getting a small human dressed is. For some reason, you think it would be easy to put on pants and shirt and shoes.
No.
It is not. It takes way longer than it should, and if you have everything already laid out, it's much easier. I feel like you're wrangling them, and Landon likes to run away between each article of clothing that's
because it's hilarious.
Come back here, stand still, and get dressed. But if you have it all laid out, like I have the stuff there, we just grab it. It's much easier. So definitely recommend doing that for sure. You're setting your intentions for the next day. If you're setting your clothes out and you are deciding before you go to bed what you're going to be doing when you wake up.
So therefore, you're what did you say a little bit ago? Like you're setting up the day instead of letting the day.
You are being proactive instead of reactive for the day. If you are proactive and you have a plan, everything is going to go much more smoothly, and you're going to just feel better each day, as opposed to reacting to everything that happens to you, because that can be very overwhelming,
stressful.
And I know this can sound like a lot in the beginning, and it is, honestly, but once you start getting that habit formed, you will see how much better you thrive in this situation, you'll crave it. You'll crave the organization, and you'll crave having
a routine
and a plan. And honestly, I think, kind of like we said at the very beginning, all other aspects of your life will start to rise simply because you're doing better in this one aspect. Now, this does bring me back to
I was just about to say, what is the state already, Nikki?
my future promise. Well, my past promise of the future. And it is Ohio. Do you want me to explain this?
Yes, please.
No, just leave it there.
Just leave it there.
All right, bye, guys.
So, Ohio, only handle it once. So I have thought about, I saw it on Pinterest probably 10 years ago, and I think about it all the time. So
Never
if
heard you
that
say
is, you've never heard me say that?
I don't think so.
I say it in my
I haven't
head
either.
500
You've
times a
said it in
day.
your head a lot because I don't think you've said it out loud to us.
Well, only handle it once. And that basically means, okay, I am going to lay my workout clothes out right here, right now. And in the morning, I'm not going to have to think about it. It's done. It's handled. Or that could even roll over into another aspect of your life. These dishes, you know what? I could just put the soap on them and kind of spray them with water and let them sit. Or I could handle it once, clear up the mental space,
Be done.
do those dishes, and be done. I've handled it
I like
once.
that.
I like that
Yeah.
too.
Because I think I'm very bad about being like, oh, I'll get to it later. And like
Just
thinking
dragging it
over
out,
things
yeah.
over and over and over instead of just doing
Just
it.
doing it. Just
Yeah.
handling it once, and then you have, one, the task is done, and two, the mental space. I find
Mental
way
space
more,
is huge for me.
yes, mental real estate is worth a lot. And the older I get, I think the less real estate I have in my head available. So,
We have these little people that take up a lot
They
of
take
our
up a lot
mental
of room.
capacity.
yes. So, Ohio, only handle it once. Now, your homework is please use this every day at least 10 times for the rest of your life.
Yes, I like it.
Thank you.
And
So set a plan on Sunday, set your stuff out daily, set little goals, and organize them in a way that it will help you attain your larger goals.
you're continuously chipping away at them, just like
Yes.
when we go to Burn and we do a chipper workout. I'm not
Yes.
sure. I'm sure you guys have done a chipper workout before, where you have a certain number of reps that you have to hit. Usually, it's a partner workout, like 500 reps of whatever exercise, and you kind of rotate and see. You have to both chip away at that big goal and see how many reps you can do each time. So you have to do your part in order for you and your partner to hit the goal. So it's
Right.
like continuous.
Effort.
Effort.
But it's
Towards
an organized way to complete a task. So you do 25 while I do this, then I'll do 25 and back and forth. But you're
And
organizing
together
a way to
we'll-
get it done.
We will hit it. And like Nikki said, this does sound like a lot. If you are not naturally an organized person, if this does not sound like, oh man, I wish I could do that, but I'm not organized. You have to, just make a little effort. And like we've said before, stuff that seems overwhelming, you just have to start. You just have to do something, just one little thing. If it's laying out your clothes the night before, if it's doing just a very rough outline on Sundays, just start. And that one little thing will kind of snowball into more positive effects. But you just have to get started with something small.
And then you'll look back a year from now and you're like, oh wow, I have really made huge leaps and bounds towards the person that I want to be.
Yeah.
And I have to admit, I am not naturally the most organized person. Literally did not have a planner until a few weeks ago, and Whitney and Nikki were like, order one on Amazon right now. I literally ordered it in Nikki's kitchen after we got done with the podcast.
Yes.
But those little things.
Do you feel better? Like, does it help you?
Yes.
When
And
people tell
I
me
can
they
tell
don't
the
have
difference in myself.
Yeah.
Like,
calm and just what to expect. When people tell me that they don't have a planner or something, I'm like, where do you put all the things like that are in your head? I know I have stuff in my head, and even writing it all out, it's still like a lot. But I don't understand how you don't have a place to dump all that stuff. And sometimes just doing a brain dump and just writing it out, clears so much
I do
space
love
in
a
your
good
head.
brain dump.
Mm.
And when I write it all out, I'm like, oh,
That's not that big.
It's
I
not
can
as
do
much
that.
as in my head. It took up a lot more space than it does on paper.
And that's
That's
like
true.
with writing a to-do list too. When you're writing it out and then you can see when you check it off, that's also like a little dopamine hit. Like, oh,
It
okay,
is.
I've accomplished
like,
this.
you go, girl.
And it's just
Or if
motivating.
you put in your planner, hey, I'm gonna run 5 miles today, and then you end up running 6 miles, and you
You're
go
like,
back and look at
"Ooh."
that, it's like, man, I'm
Did that.
overachieving.
Yes.
So
So
we're achievers.
organize your life, organize your fitness, and you will hit your goals.
Long run recap. This week's long run was kind of a mixed bag, as always. Nikki and I actually got to go on a little walk this week, which was quite exciting.
It was very nice, and the weather
Big
was
moves.
beautiful. Yes, big moves. So we met at Publix, and we just went for a little 1.5 mile walk. Whitney showed up, took a dog. You
It's
know,
kind of like a nice little reunion.
it was. It was a little glimpse of what has been and what will be.
Yes, it
Outdoors
was nice
together.
just to. I was like, man, I haven't got to just like talk to you because every time I've seen Nikki, it's been like, all right, we're podcasting, we got to talk about this, and we
I've
hadn't
been
just
under the
like,
influence,
right? She's been a little,
a little drugged.
but
And in denial that she
right,
took pain medication and thought she was fine. We knew.
she was fully aware this time. She was like, yeah, that was messing with me. We're like, oh yes, we know.
We told you.
Disclaimer: I do not really remember all the things I posted on Instagram that first week or so after surgery, so please act like you didn't see any of that. Thank
We
you.
were talking about how we were going to get her phone away from her because we're like, there's no telling what she may post next.
Yeah.
A little I was personally a little nervous every time I saw on Instagram she posted
Well,
something.
I
was
did
like,
not disappoint.
no,
You provided some serious content.
you gave the
That's-
people
That's
all
for sure.
the details for sure.
Whether they wanted it or not.
Whether they wanted it or not. So anyway, glad you're back to walking
Yes,
and living and
it was
a
very
little
nice.
bit more of a clear mind.
Yes.
That's good.
Hopefully we'll get to do it again next week.
Yes, for sure.
Yes. Another little long run recap is Erin and I got to do 5 miles this morning, and it kind of goes along with our episode because it was supposed to rain, but we went ahead and sat our stuff out and planned on meeting. We texted each other and talked about like, what do you think? Because I mean, it's supposed to like torrentially downpour
It's
today.
like the kids are getting
tornadoes.
out of school early because
Right.
it's so crazy today.
So I was.
Speaking of, are your kids getting out of school early?
They're already out of school.
Really?
Thursday and Friday.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yep. So we decided that we were going to go ahead and give it a try. We both wore our rain jackets, and it was raining when we got started. But like literally 5 minutes into it, and it stopped raining. We took our rain jackets off. We got a good 5 miles in, and
So proud.
I know. I was like, we kept talking about it. We were like, think about how mad we would be if we would have canceled and not at least tried, and then
Yes.
it didn't rain.
But are you okay? To be devil's advocate, or you could have just slept through it, and then by the time you woke up, it was raining, and you'd be like, "Oh, thank goodness we didn't wake up early. It was raining."
That's Nikki's outlook
Yeah.
on running in the rain.
But
tries
I
to
wrote
find it every
down
time.
in my planner
She
that I
set
was
her intention.
running 5 miles this morning with Erin.
You are a better woman than I, Amber.
No,
Great
I'm
work.
not. I'm just reformed slightly. But we were on our way back, and it was still pitch black because it's so dark outside right now. It was
Until like 10 a.m.
yeah.
It feels like, you know.
Well, and it was cloudy and nasty because it's raining, so it was like especially dark. But at like 6 o'clock, we were running, and we hear like these little claws and like and something was like in the drain pipe right beside us, and we both
Yeah.
like screamed bloody murder and took off sprinting. It was so nasty because we're like, it's gotta be like a rat or a skunk
sweet
or
little baby kitten stuff. Well, you
no,
know
it
what?
did not sound like a sweet little baby.
I would have
kitten.
investigated, and I would have had a new pet rat. So good
You
thing I
probably
wasn't
would have
there.
got bit and had rabies or something.
Yes.
So it was eventful. Rain, rats, all the things.
Wow. I feel like that's happened so many
Rabies.
times. Rain, rats, and rabies.
Luckily, no one was bit. We're safe.
Thank God. But I do feel like that's happened so many times. Like rain, like it's supposed to be raining, and then
Yes.
exactly at the time that you run, it just kind of goes away. Like at our St. Patrick's Day,
Yes.
run, we were driving there, and it was pouring
We're
rain,
like,
and
this
we
is
were
gonna
both
be
like,
awful.
"Oh."
We're just gonna hide in the car.
And then it just stopped when we ran, and it wasn't raining anymore. It's like, oh,
Okay, thanks.
You know why?
Because the Lord loves us.
The Lord says you are blessed and highly favored.
yes, that is why. Well, proud of you, Amber.
Yes.
We shall.
Hopefully someday we'll all get to run together again.
Hopefully, one day.
One
soon.
day.
Maybe in a
I
few
have
weeks.
How long?
2, 3, like 2.5 more weeks till
Yeah.
we're. Till
That will
I am
fly
yours.
by.
It will.
It'll like before we know it.
Cool. Can't wait.